One of the most luxurious properties in India, the Wildflower Hall, an iconic luxury hotel tucked away in the outskirts of Shimla, is facing a risk of takeover by the Himachal Pradesh government. The colonial-era property, nestled in the lap of a thick deodar forest near Kufri at an altitude of more than 8,000 feet, is currently owned by the East India Hotels or EIH Limited, which is a flagship company of the Oberoi Group. On November 17, just 3 days after the passing of legendary hotelier PRS Oberoi, the late chairman emeritus of the Oberoi Group, the Himachal Pradesh government issued executive orders and also sent a team from the tourism department to take over the hotel's management without any prior notice. This order was already initially passed by the Himachal Pradesh High Court. Following this, the tourism department officials had already reached the Wildflower Hall to physically take over and take the possession of the iconic hotel. Reportedly, high drama followed as EIH Limited then approached the Himachal Pradesh High Court on November 18 to act against this sudden takeover. A single judge bench of Justice Satyen Vaidya took up the matter and then put a stay on the executive order passed by the Himachal government. The court also directed the state government to not interfere in the day-to-day management of the hotel. But why suddenly the Himachal Pradesh government really wants to take over this luxury hotel? Well, the High Court in its judgment too has stipulated that the state definitely must initially determine the intention to assume the ownership of the property. In a media statement, Himachal Pradesh Industry Minister Harshvardhan Chauhan said that the hotel had unpaid dues worth 120 crore rupees. It is worth noting that the government's attempt to assume control of the luxury property is a result of a long-standing legal dispute dating all the way back to 2002. The legal contention between the Himachal Pradesh government and EIH began 7 years after they began collaborating under the joint venture agreement to develop and to manage this 5-star hotel in Chhabra. Originally owned by Lord Kitchener, Wildflower Hall operated as a hotel under the management of Himachal Pradesh Tourism Development Corporation until a devastating fire took place in the year 1993. After this fire, EIH was entrusted with the property through a joint venture. However, the government terminated the agreement in the year 2002, triggering a long-drawn legal battle between the two parties. It all started when the state government entered into the JV with EIH and the Oberoi Group in October of 1995 to incorporate this company by the name of Mashobra Resorts Limited for running this 5-star hotel at Wildflower Hall, with terms that the state government's share in the company would not be less than 35%, while EIH, the share of that company will not be less than 36%. Shares were also reserved for the public issue as well. Even today, the shares of EIH Limited are listed on the stock markets in India, and they have been on an uptrend up until now this year. So far, they have rallied 24%. But when you calculate the returns for the company and the stock right from the time it went public in the year 1999 until now, the stock has jumped a whopping 770%. Himachal Pradesh's Industry Minister Harshvardhan Chauhan also had mentioned that in the last 25-30 years, they have not given anything to the Himachal government in terms of revenue or equity. The next hearing in this case is now scheduled for November 24. Until then, the future of the ownership of this iconic hotel hangs in balance.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.